In this video, I'm going to show you how to format a paper in Microsoft Office Word 2013. If you're running a different version of Word or a different word processing program altogether, the same concepts apply, but the process might look slightly different. Here I have an example research assignment that I completed based on my own assignment description. I've only focused on content and haven't done anything meaningful in regards to formatting, so that I can walk you through the process of formatting according to APA specifications in a step-by-step manner. I suggest that you open up your own assignment, pause this video periodically, and then make the required revisions within your own paper. The first thing I'll show you is how to check your word count. To check how many words are in the overview section, I simply highlight all of the text in that section and then check the word count in the status bar at the bottom of my screen. Another way to check your word count is to highlight the text you want to count, click the Review tab, and then select Word Count. APA suggests that all papers be submitted in Times New Roman 12-point font. You'll notice, though, that Word defaults to Calibri size 11. You can quickly change the font and size by selecting the Home tab, clicking on Select, then select All. Once all of your text is highlighted, find the Times New Roman font then change the font size to 12. If you want to change the default settings in Word, right-click on the Normal and No Spacing styles, and then adjust them to your preferred font and size. Once you do this, Word will remember what your favorites are, and rather than defaulting to Calibri, it'll automatically be ready to go with whatever you prefer. Now I'll show you how to set up your section headings. Right-click on Heading 1 and click Modify. Select Times New Roman, 12-point font, bold. Change the color from blue to black and center it. Press OK. All of your main level headings, so the abstract, the overview, existing web presence, all need to be formatted using heading 1. These are our main headings. Now we'll do the same for our subheadings. So right-click on heading 2, click Modify. This time we'll do something similar, so Times New Roman, 12-point font, bold, black, but let's leave it left justified this time and click OK. Now let's go back through the paper and grab all of those subheadings. So historical overview, highlight it, then left click once on heading 2 to change it. Client overview, service overview, etc. That's looking good. Now I'm going to quickly show you how to set up your table of contents. Super easy now that we've created our headings and subheadings. So just click down to TOC heading and select Modify. We'll do the Times New Roman, 12-point font, bold, black, left justify, click OK. I'm going to remove my image and caption just because I need to insert them anyway, and this part's going to mess up their formatting. So right at the bottom of the abstract, click your cursor, then click References, Table of Contents, and then I prefer Automatic Table too. You'll see that it's already all populated with our headings and subheadings. Now I'm going to insert a few page breaks so that the table of contents sits alone on its own sheet. Watch for extra line breaks here. Word tends to stick some blank spaces in, so I kind of go through and make sure that the spacing looks right. So make sure your paper looks like mine. I've got an extra space right there, for example. While we're at it, we may as well go to the bottom of our page where we have our references and stick a page break in there as well, because the references are meant to stand alone on the very last page of our assignment. So that's it. Now you've got a table of contents. Okay, we're going to keep moving. We're doing the title page now. Bring your cursor to the very top of the abstract, the first page of your assignment. Click Insert, and then Blank Page. See how you have a new page 1 now? Click the Home tab and just double check that you've got Normal selected. And then we're going to put in the text for our title page. So start with the title. I think the organization name makes sense as a title. And then as a subtitle, maybe you want Final Research Assignment ENG 1002. Next, type your name. You're the author. And then Cambrian College, because that's your institution for which you're submitting to. Might want to drop the subtitle to its own line. Select the whole thing and center it. Then move the block down a couple lines, just so that the text appears in the middle to upper part of the sheet. Select the whole text once again, and make sure that it's double spaced. So it should look something like this. So you see that this is my page 1, then I've got the abstract on page 2, followed by the table of contents, and then the body text of my document. All right, we're going to add an image now. I'll warn you, this is where most students lose it, so if you're running out of patience, you might want to come back to it. I told you to stick your image in the historical overview section. So I'm putting my cursor inside that section. Already got my image open in a web browser. I right-click on it and select Copy. Then I'll return to my assignment. I'm going to right-click again, and this time I'll select Paste with Keep Source Formatting. So that looks pretty ugly there. So I'm going to click on the image once and see how Picture Tools comes up. Now I'll select Wrap Text and I'm going to select Tight. And then I'll position it in the upper right-hand corner just because for some reason I prefer that. You don't have to put it on the right if you don't want to. I'm going to get it looking pretty in line with the text. I'll add a border just again for visual appeal. And that's looking all right. Now we need to caption that image. The easiest way I think for you to do that is to click Insert and then select Text Box and Draw Text Box. I'm going to draw the text box right below my image, and then you want to give some sort of nod to what's going on in that image. So I'm writing above, Joanne Bouchard, founder of the Adult Enrichment Center, Sudbury. So you'd write here something relevant to your picture. Then I need to include that in-text citation that I've been yapping about, right? So in this case, I'm using the website title or name, which is Adult Enrichment Center Incorporated. There's no date on that website, and so I'm just writing ND, all in brackets. That's my in-text citation. That's telling your instructor you're not trying to plagiarize and pass this image off as something you took. Now I'm just fussing with the formatting. I'm going to make sure that there's no spacing. I'm going to right justify that in-text citation. I think that looks a bit better. I'll bold the caption text, and then I'm going to bring up the border of my text box. Text boxes always come with an actual border drawn in, but you want to remove that. So just right-click, Format, No Line is what you're looking for there. This is optional. I'm just hitting Shift, selecting both, and grouping them so that if I wanted to, I can move them now as one object rather than two separate objects. This is just me fussing though, to be honest, so don't get bogged down in this. I'm just going back into Format, Wrap Text, and Tight so that my image isn't actually transferring over top of my body text. So you want to find something that looks something similar to this, and then just keep micro tweaking it until you're happy. There's no perfect way to do this, and that's why students tend to kind of break down when they're formatting their image. If your paper starts to look something like this, then you're on the right track. Remember to keep saving. Okay, we're getting close. We're going to do the overall formatting on the references page now. So let's scroll down to the bottom. I'm not covering how to write the references entries. You should already know how to do that. This is how to format it. So I'm going to remove all of the spacing, highlight the whole block of references text, and then go back to that line spacing icon and select 2.0. Now I'm going to select each individual reference, right-click, select paragraph, and then under indentation, I'm going to select hanging. Click OK and see how that second line has jumped inward? That's what we're looking to do. Now your references sheet needs to be in alphabetical order, so I'm going to actually cut this out and bring it to the bottom of the sheet so that I add alphabetical order. I'll take that second reference now, highlight it, select paragraph again, and then again I'm selecting hanging indent. Okay. Right-click on any hyperlinks that show up and just click Remove Hyperlink. In APA, for some reason, they don't want hyperlinks to be active. They want it just text. Now, it looks like here I actually only did half a reference. I forgot to include some info. And so I'm going to do a quick search and make sure that my reference is complete. So maybe you want to do the same thing. Double check your entries and make sure that they're complete. So I forgot Sudbury.com and the URL. I'm going to go back in, add that information. Again, I'll remove that hyperlink. I'm going to highlight that last entry. Right click, paragraph, hanging indent. Boom, there's a reference page. We need to add our header and our page numbers, and we're finished, folks. So left click at the top of your first page, that's the header. You should see header and footer tools come up and select different first page. Type in the words running head, capital R, lowercase h with a colon, and then in all capitals, type the main title of your paper. Then type the number 1. Insert your cursor between the number 1 and the last letter of your title and hit Tab so it looks something like this, and then close the header. Now scroll down to page 2. Select Insert. You should be inside the header. So insert, page number, top of page, and then grab that plain number 3. So you should have a 2 in the top corner. This time, just type the title of your page in all capital letters like I'm doing here, and then hit Tab once or twice to bring it over. It should look like this. So the way you've set this up now, you've got your number 1 with a running head and the title of your page. And then on the second page, you've got a number 2 and just the title. I want to bring that abstract down. I find it looks a bit crowded. Keep scrolling through the paper. This is a good time to also click on your table of contents and click Update so that it repaginates. It doesn't do that automatically. So before you submit your final copy of the paper, make sure that your table is up to date. And then just scroll through and make sure that everything looks right. If you got something funky there where there's like just a line or two stuck on one page, insert a page break and bring it down so that one section remains together if possible. Click Save, be done with it. Before I sign off, I thought some of you might just want a nice slow look at my overall formatting, so here it is. Your paper should look like this. So here's your reference tool, and I'll upload this directly into Moodle, so if some of the more cunning of you want to format based on the actual Word document I upload, nothing's going to stop you from doing that either.
So that was a bit of a doozy, wasn't it? I hope it's helpful. I know that sometimes formatting in Word can be a real pain, so I took my time to walk you through it. If it was mostly irrelevant, my apologies, but it's better to just explain rather than assume that you guys know how to do all this stuff. Full disclosure though, I wasn't perfectly true to APA formatting with this assignment. Technically, APA requires you to double space the entire paper. I haven't asked you to do that, and I won't deduct marks if you don't double space your entire assignment, but the one I upload to Moodle will be double spaced, so you have a chance to look at that. The other little boo-boo I made when I recorded this video originally was I bolded the abstract and the reference header. Technically with APA, they should not be bold. They should just be centered, Times New Roman, 12-point font. So that's just the abstract and the reference. If you've paid attention this far, go ahead and make that change in your own paper, and I'll give you a couple bonus marks for sticking it out with this very lengthy instructional video. Good luck with the paper. Keep drafting, get the final formatting in, and I can't wait to read them. Okay, ciao.